before I take you on this thought experiment with me, I need you to know that this is purely hypothetical. I am somebody who identifies as a prison abolitionist. If you don't know what that is, pause here and go look it up. But in very layman's terms, what that means is I believe that the prison industrial complex only exists as a way for those in power to continue to exploit those who they do not want to pay for their labor, right? If you are unfamiliar with the 13th Amendment, go look it up right now. I know I'm making you look up so much stuff, but did you go look it up? If you did, I'm sure you saw that the 13th Amendment abolished slavery and indentured servitude, except as punishment for a crime. Right, so when you think about it like that, it makes sense that the United States is the largest prison industrial complex in the world, meaning as far as countries go, we have the most prisoners out of any other country because the United States never actually made slavery illegal. They just shifted their focus from exclusively black people to now anyone convicted of a crime. That's when we saw a rise in things like black codes, which essentially made it illegal for black people to exist. This is why I don't understand why poor white people are racist, right? Like, as a trailer trash white folk, most of the things that negatively affect us as poor white people were originally created to harm black and brown people first, to exploit those groups of people, and then they've just sort of bled over into our communities as well. We would have better luck if we were linking up with the people who were affected by the same shit that we were, but racism is a hell of a mental illness, what can I say? I also believe that crime is largely a social construct, and my evidence for things like this would be the difference between you, your average Joe. If you go and steal $20 out of your till right now from whatever job you work at, or even if you go into a place you don't work at and you steal $20 from the till, there's a very good chance you will get arrested. You will face some sort of consequences. But wage theft, employers stealing from their employees, is the second largest culprit of theft from the American people. Behind who? You probably guessed it, the police. Corporations and cops account for way more theft from the American people than every single robbery or burglary in the United States combined. This is a wealth transfer from your average person to the elites. We've been force-fed pro-police propaganda our whole life that so many people don't question it, but the police have never been around to protect. Never. Never, never, never. Maybe we'll do another video about the original purpose of the police, but what this video is about, golly, it got away from me. Right, okay, but you think about the prison industrial complex as exploitable and cheap labor. And then you think about the way that Republicans are currently targeting specifically immigrants, specifically undocumented immigrants and queer people. And the talk about what these people are and the brand for them to all be considered criminals. This is intentional. This is to manufacture consent for them to round them up and put them in jail. Or the next logical escalation of American jails, which is these camps that places like Texas are offering land to the federal government to build. But anyway, my hypothetical. If a large workforce is all that these people are looking for, would they not find it immediately if they started prosecuting sex crimes? If men started being prosecuted for rape in any sort of like notable way, you'd have it. You'd have your labor force. What's the reason why they don't? Well, I think we can thank Marjorie Taylor Greene for confirming what most of us already knew, which is that if they did start prosecuting the only crime that human beings can commit that is in no way, under any circumstances, ever excusable, if we started prosecuting those crimes at the rate which they should be, all of these conservative politicians would be in jail. And a good bit of the Democratic politicians would be in jail too. A lot of the men that run our society, they would be the new workforce. And so that's why they don't prosecute rapists.